PlayStation 5 Pro initially came out. And ever since that November 7th release date, I bought one day one.
Oh, you did it, man. You robbed your girlfriend for an old PS5 for $500. What are you talking about, man? Why is this dude acting as if he went to the store and spent $700 to $800 on himself? No, you did not, bro. You robbed your poor little country bumpkin of a girlfriend $500 for a used PS5 Slim and some old used buy two get one free GameStop games that you probably picked up for $2.99. Bro, that is crazy, man. How you gonna sit there and tell people, I paid $700-800 for this Pro? No, you didn't. Your girlfriend did. You know, your girlfriend gave you more money for the Pro than when you gave her the old PS5 Slim.
And that $700 price tag was not cheap. This was a very substantial gadget price tag.
Yeah, we know that. That's why you robbed your girlfriend.
Probably one of the most expensive pieces of tech I've ever bought. And a question I see very often in the comment section is, hey, you review games, you primarily play on PlayStation, do you regret buying it? And now that I've sat down with it, now that I've had a chance to beat a lot of games and pop a lot of platinums and spend a lot of time with it, I think I really love the Pro more and more. But it still just doesn't feel worth it. And
wow. You know why it doesn't feel worth it? Because you have a next generation PlayStation 6 and the next Xbox right around the corner. Why would I invest $700 to $800 on a minuscule upgrade of some old PlayStation 5 games I can run on my console when the PS6 and the new Xbox more than likely will do it far better? I mean, it really doesn't. Oh, but it's only $200 extra. And the funny thing is, you guys want to sit there and talk about physical media. But what I find funny, that the disk drive that you buy for the PS5 Slim and the PS5 Pro, which is the same disk drive, it has DRM. You have to synchronize the disk drive online. So the fact that you people still continue to buy physical media on it, oh, I like Sony because they let me carry my old catalog, then explain to me why you can't use the disk drive unless you synchronize it online. So why would you guys continue to buy physical games for your PS5 Pro knowing that you can't even take it to the next console? It's stupid. Oh, but it's going to be backward compatible. Yes, and guess what? Once the disk drive gives out, you're going to have to synchronize that online. See, this is why people are going digital. Because to be honest with you, it doesn't necessarily matter if you pick up a physical copy or a digital one at this point. Because as far as I'm concerned with the PS5, if that disk drive breaks in, let's say, 10, 15, 20 years down the future, right, when Sony potentially doesn't make any consoles, how are you going to be able to still play those PS5 games? You won't. Oh, but we'll play them on the PS10 or the PS15. Oh, keep believing in that philosophy, because I'm telling you, man, everything is going digital.
I want to explain why. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could, please give this video a like. I have put very close to 100 hours into Assassin's Creed Shadows, and the game under the Pro, which is that these patches cannot be cheap. This is a lot of extra development time. It's more budget.
It really isn't, because they do this in PC gaming all the time. It's really not that crazy. I mean, I'm happy that the PS5 Pro is actually getting better versions of the games that it should have had when it first released. I mean, it's finally doing somewhat of what was advertised with it, but even then, it's still not doing the 8K. We're still not getting the whole 60 frames, or should I say 120 frames on majority of the games that Sony promised to you. So yes, the PS5 Pro even is still a lie. It's just a more optimal way to play the same games that we've already been playing.
It's more focused, and my concern is that I have no idea how good or bad the PS5 Pro is selling. It could be selling terrible. It could have bombed. I actually haven't seen any digits thus far. And my concern is the fact that companies are currently investing in the Pro because they've been working on these patches for months. If they're probably not, they're probably going to boost it a bit, make it look a little bit better, spruce it up. But my concern is that the Pro, if it doesn't become more successful, or if it doesn't hit that bottom bar of needs, my concern is that the Pro upgrades are going to become less and less substantial.
See, the problem is with the PlayStation 5 Pro and the upgrades is the fact that it's tied down to the service and not necessarily the console. And people be like, Games to please explain. What I'm trying to tell you, if you put the disc into your PS5 Pro, more than, like you just said, an update, or a patch. All these things have to be accessed through what, guys? Online. The PS5 Pro can't just automatically enhance your games, which also means that if your PS5 Pro breaks in the next 10, 15, 20 years, well, guess what? There goes the updates to those games that you people want to play, which also means that the PS5 Pro will be running the same versions as the base PS5. That's why it's pointless. So when y'all are like, oh, we got these patches and these updates, well, I want these games to be updated natively. So at least I know that this experience that I'm picking up, I will be able to play the update and the upgrades all the way through. See, Microsoft does the same thing with their 360 titles. You can only enhance these Xbox One, or should I say these 360 games, unless you're online. The console can't just immediately update the 4K and 60 frames in Gears of War. It has to be done online, which also means that if the console breaks and let's say Microsoft, you don't have access to these things no more, well, guess what? Well, there goes your 4K 60 on the old Gears of War, does it?
The Pro upgrades are going to become less and less substantial, and I'm basically just going to have an overpriced PS5. But
yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say, because you're not going to have the option to be able to update these games 10, 15, 20 years from now. Hopefully, Sony will continue to still make consoles, but how long do you guys think they're going to do backwards compatible? How long? You think they're going to have a PlayStation 8 that's going to be backwards compatible between 7, 6, and 5? Come on, bro. You have to ask yourself, yeah, I don't think that's actually reasonable. You know what I mean? Maybe that's why they're trying to make the hardware more accessible so it's easier to take multiple generations of games to the next console. That's probably why they settled for AMD. But still, there's going to be some form of compatibility issues if you're trying to run this many consoles through backwards compatibility.
I want to go back to the fact that I do feel like it's been cool to me that some companies have been going back and making Pro patches. Like we saw it for the Silent Hill remake. We saw this for Hogwarts Legacy got a PS5 Pro upgrade that made the water and shadows, and especially the walls.
Wow, we really talking about water and walls, bro. The walls. I mean, really? Is it really worth spending $800 on a console to look at walls and water?
The shadows, they look way, way, way different. Now, obviously, you're seeing a screen recording of a upload on Twitter, uploaded to YouTube. So, yeah, you're kind of getting a diminishing returns effect. But trust me when I say that everybody's played this, these upgrades are interesting, they're noticeable, but I feel like what I wanted most with the Pro that has been fulfilled successfully is better frame rate. I
thought the PS5 already ran at 60 FPS. Now we're going to sit there and cap that the PS5 wasn't running majority of these games at 60 FPS, because if you're going to sit there and tell people, oh, well, the PS5 Pro is running majority of these games better at 60 FPS, that is kind of counterintuitive considering that's what you guys said the PS5 was already doing. So essentially you should be saying, oh, these games are all running natively at 120. Because wasn't 60 FPS a quote-unquote standard to most PlayStation 5 games? 4K 60 FPS? I thought that was the standard, right? Of the base console. So how are we sitting here still talking about the same standards that you guys have made during 2020?
Always hated that so many games require, hey, pick good frame rate or pick good resolution. You get one or the other. Do you want to play it at freaking 4K 30 FPS or do you want to play it at 1080p 60 FPS? And I hated that, and the reason I got the Pro is because I wouldn't be able to have.
You guys hated it? Hold on. I'm confused. Because the last time I checked, I thought it was the principle. Oh, we need it. I don't care how bad the game looks as long as it's 60 FPS. Ain't that what you guys was capping for? Just to find out that, oh, I couldn't stand doing it.
Have quality visuals with good performance. And I feel like the Pro, for me, has fulfilled that. I do think that, especially when you see games like right here, this is obviously, obviously right here,
Dude couldn't even tell the difference, bro. He was about to say PS5 and it said Xbox right there, bro. Like I said, these upgrades are negligible. And what's even more funny, they were comparing the Series X to the Series S. And this man couldn't even tell the difference. Look at this.
fulfilled that.
Peep
I
it.
do think that, especially when you see games like right here, this is obviously
Right here, keyword. He said right here, so clearly it shows the Xbox Series X and Series S. And he still couldn't tell the difference. Listen.
This is obviously right here. This is
No. You was about to say obviously right there. So you couldn't even tell the difference between a Series X and a Series S. That just goes as far to show you that how look how technology has evolved, guys. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna want gaming to advance way further than what we want that a $500 console can do, we are going to have to spend more money in consoles, which is only going to equate to $1,000 consoles for the next generation. That's what I'm hearing. You know what I mean? Y'all 700-800 probably priced up right around where the Pro is. That is the only way we're going to get true next generation games on these platforms. Paying $500 for these lunchable Happy Meal boxes is not cutting it anymore. I'm sorry to tell you guys. It's just not. You know what I mean? It's getting to the point where the differences are negligible.
Obviously, right here, this is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It is interesting that the PS5 Pro's quality when it comes to environments, especially going around in nature, looks fantastic. But I think the wildest one has been, because it ended up being so controversial, the PS5 Pro version, Monster Hunter Wilds, is by far the best place to play it. In fact, people were review bombing it.
Yeah, and that has a lot to do with Capcom's poor optimization
on PC, because Capcom just didn't spend much time on the PC build. They put all this bit of excitement for the PS5 Pro kind of bubbling up months later, where maybe it'll start to be more successful now. But I see people saying, honestly, it almost looks like looking at a PlayStation 4 game to a PlayStation 5 game. It's weird. I've said before that ray tracing and the AI technology inside the Pro is going to be the true jump we'll see going forward.
And the funny thing is, a lot of people are going to sit there and say it's still not worth it. I mean, even in these comparisons, the PS5 Pro version most definitely looks a little bit better, right? But at the end of the day, all this can be done with a good television. You don't necessarily need to spend $700 to $800 on a new game console to get what you got on the right side of this screen. I'm telling you, a nice television screen will literally make a night and day difference. You get what I'm saying? You people putting all this emphasis, the Pro is bro, I'd rather just wait for the next gen Xbox or the next gen PlayStation 6. Because to be honest with you, ain't nobody gonna want the PS5 Pro when those consoles come out.
And this is what it looks to be a part of. Months into having my PlayStation 5 Pro, I like what it's doing. When I get those upgrades, when I get those benefits, when I get to see the changes of the Pro action.
But what benefits are you really getting? A lot of it's being done through online, which is at this point, we might as well just be PC gamers. If this is what you people are picking up consoles for, the best place to do this is PC. Because you know why? PC is going to be able to coexist way longer than what your PS5 console. Because they're going to just move on to the PS6 or whatever you guys think, the PS7. So they're no longer going to update these old consoles. Unlike a PC, you can upgrade your PC through time. Do you get what I'm saying? You can't do that with a console. Once the PlayStation 6 comes out, the PS5 Pro is obsolete. There's no real reason to want to own one.
Playing off, I like it. I still feel like that $700 price tag is just way too damn much. I know that both Xbox and PlayStation have talked about this new audience of premium gamers, but maybe I'm a skepticist, but I just don't believe there are that many people that want to optionally spend more. I think there are some people that are like, I have a Pro, I'll trade it in, or I have a PS5, I'll trade it in and get the Pro for how many hundreds of dollars difference. But I know there are some people out there like me that only game on one platform predominantly, and they want to. I mean, let's face it, 99% of people can't afford a PS5 Pro. But
it's not even that they can't afford it. It's like, what is really worth the value of it? I mean, you're essentially playing the same games that you could play on the PS5. Yes, there's some differences. Like this one looks like Assassin's Creed. They did a really good job before. But like I said, for the vast majority of games, you're not going to see that for the PS5 Pro unless they get updated and enhanced, which is all done through online. You get what I'm saying? You're not natively getting these experiences. You're not putting the Assassin's Creed disc in the game just infinitely looks better. That's not how it works. You have to put the disc in and then update that game for it to look the way it does. This is why backwards compatibility for these consoles is a joke. At this point, if this is what you're buying these consoles for, then you might as well just pick up a PC. Because at least with those updates, PCs ain't going anywhere. But consoles, they do. They make a PlayStation 6, they're not going to make no more updates for this. It's done. You get what I'm saying? So it's just a waste of time and development and resources.
I mean, some people laugh at that and say, oh, a gaming PC of great quality is $2,000. How can you not afford a $700 console? I don't know. I don't want to compare the pricing because, yes, you can make a $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 PC with the craziest, most photorealistic graphics and mods and stuff. Everyone knows PC gaming is better. I'm saying that for the PlayStation...
You're like, what? GameStar, you're saying that he's wrong? That even PC has its limits. You're like, what? Even if you spend $8,000 to $10,000 on a PC, that doesn't mean you can maximize the results of what you're getting. Just like what you said, Monster Hunter Wilds runs better on the Pro than it does on most PCs that are way more powerful than it. So explain that. Now we can sit there and complain that Capcom did poor optimization, which they clearly did. Nobody's defending that. But I'm saying that doesn't necessarily mean you're guaranteed a good version on PC. That is subjective. That is dependent on the game. Now, over time, then yes, you know what I mean? PC will eventually have a better version. But I'm just saying at this current moment, no. You know, you got people's powerful gaming rigs having a hard time running Monster Hunter Wilds. And they're like, what? I don't understand this. So at the end of the day, this has nothing to do. I mean, obviously it's Capcom's poor optimization. But to act like, all right, let me ask you something, right? We had a PC dude, right? Comparing his PC, right, to one of my friends. I think he spent like $10,000 and my friend spent like $4,000 or $5,000 on his, right? And you know how the conversation went to? He's like, oh, my PC is better than yours. And my friend's like, what are you trying to run? Like checkers on it? Like essentially what he means by that comment, he's essentially saying that, yeah, you have the power, but even then you're still bottlenecked. You're not going to be able to access all that power. So it doesn't really matter. So even if you got a $10,000 PC, it's really not that much better than a $5,000 PC. It still has its limits. So even if you spend that much money on a PC, unless you're using it for emulation, then yes, you'll probably notice some huge, huge differences. But in regards to playing a lot of these games, they're still negligible. Like a $10,000, oh, I got a $100,000 PC. Well, mine's is $20,000 PC. What it really is the difference besides the money that you're spending on it? You got to ask yourself, like, how much do you really want to go with these games? That's the point that I'm trying to make. Like, really? Like, that's what it really comes down to. I know a lot of real people are going to understand where I went with that, you know, with the way I worded it. But a lot of people is going to go through their head and still say, oh, well, you know, that PC. Nobody's arguing that PC is more powerful. All I'm saying, how much better do you want these games to run? It comes to a certain point where it's just like, yeah, they all kind of starting to look the same. You know, I run mine at 1,000 frames. Well, mine is 868. Are we really going to argue that? They still run smooth, though. Do you get my point? Do you guys get what I'm saying? That's kind of where I'm trying to get with that angle. Is that, yeah, your PC might be more powerful, but does it really matter in the end? It doesn't really. You know, but like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And like I said, take care. Peace out.